Greetings, everybody of the internet. I am back again, and this video is late. And I am sorry for that. I've been just struggling with trying to find motivation for everything, but I'm trying. So, yeah. Anyway, this is a video that, okay, not a video. This is a drawing that I did as a kind of art trade with a friend of mine that I've known since high school, and she is great. And I looked up to her for a long, long time, and then a while back she asked me for an art trade, and I was so amazed, and I was like, I've arrived. I felt so wonderful because she liked my art, and I just had a moment just feeling great. Anyway, so I had her draw my character named Kavita, the smiley girl with the blue hair. I've drawn her in at least one video, I think. Anyway. And my half is drawing her, I believe, main character on Final Fantasy XIV, which is an MMORPG that we both like to play. And, yeah, so I want to do more Final Fantasy fan art. So this is kind of stepping. This is my way of putting my foot in the door of that. Eventually, I will also draw my own Final Fantasy character. She, like I've sketched her before, and you can see those drawings on Instagram. And if I can remember, I will link at least one of those drawings in the description. Although, like, at least one of those sketches I didn't really like, but I posted it anyway. That's part of the challenge I've been doing is posting things I don't entirely like, just so I have something and so I can possibly make myself stop being so perfectionistic. I don't know if that's the right form of the word, probably not. A long time ago, someone actually posted a comment on one of my DeviantArt drawings, and they said that my style of shading and whatever in the drawing reminded them of Final Fantasy characters, and I was so amazed because I've never really tried to model my style after anything specifically, but I've always loved the art style behind Final Fantasy because it's so detailed and very vibrant and pretty and all that. So for them to say that, I felt very flattered, and I was just kind of thinking, well, what if I tried a little harder? Because I mean, I didn't see what exactly the person saw in my art style that looked like a Final Fantasy thing, but yeah. I don't actually play a lot of Final Fantasy games, which is something I do hope to change, but I do so much love the character designs and whatnot, so if nothing else, expect some Final Fantasy fan art in the future. Um, I'm almost out of things to talk about already, and I'm not even halfway through the video. In any case, another thing I wanted to mention is that I do hope to do another video this week because this one right here, it was supposed to be last week's. Supposed to be, but it wasn't. In any case, I intend to upload another one, preferably on Thursday, but it may end up being pushed to Friday or Saturday. But I do hope to finally do another traditional video that involves talking about a lot of stuff, as well as featuring an Art Snacks challenge, which is, if someone out there doesn't know what that is, then I will explain. An Art Snacks challenge is simply choosing a box from the company Art Snacks. They give monthly art supply videos to you. Did I say videos? I meant boxes. They send you monthly boxes with traditional art supplies in them, and the challenge is to create something with just those supplies. I've seen some people having to use other things that wasn't included in the box. For example, not every box will come with a mini sketchbook or something. So, I mean, it kind of comes without saying to use something like a sketchbook or something that you've already got. So, I have the April's Arts Next box, and I have looked in it. So, I just, what I want to talk about and everything inside the box just seems like everything came into place. The timing was kind of perfect to make a video about it. But that hasn't stopped me from being unmotivated and trying to procrastinate to no end. Still, I'm trying, so please be patient. About the artwork itself, I did actually want to try to do the barding on my friend's Chocobo, but unfortunately the screenshots I had weren't detailed enough to get all of the shapes and everything how I wanted, so instead of asking for more screenshots, I instead decided to ask my friend if it'd be okay if I designed a barding myself, and she seemed to like that idea, so that's what I ended up doing. The barding I went with, I wasn't entirely happy with what was on the Chocobo's chest, so I changed it a bit later. I'm still not quite happy with the outcome, but you know, I tried. I tried to take as many elements from her character's outfit as I could and to move them into the design for the Chocobo. Mostly colors and a few of the shapes, like the little clasp, I guess, that holds the sash on her character's waist. I used that and made it the centerpiece for the Chocobo's chest part of the barding. Unfortunately, I couldn't entirely tell what the shape was, so I just kind of winged it. As you may have noticed from my little blurb thing, I'm winging it and pointing at the Chocobo's wing. I kind of didn't like how the Chocobo had its wing just hanging out at its side, so I made it look like it was trying to hug her a little bit. Or at least reaching out to her. I don't know. I think that the characters, the leather bits, I think those have different undertones of color, but I ended up choosing just one color to make it all work together a little bit better. I mean, in Final Fantasy XIV, you can't always get pieces that don't automatically go together to fit so perfectly, so sometimes the pieces will have not quite exactly the same color scheme. Unless you choose the same pieces in the set, which is kind of boring. I think at this point I realized that I didn't quite like how I was going with the chess piece, chess bit, chess something, words. There's also a bit of a... I kept the leg wraps from the Chocobo barding in the pictures, as well as the kind of armor thing on the wing. Although I didn't add it to the other wing because I figured it wouldn't show up enough to really make a difference. Yep, there's I added a bit of a, what's it, what is it? You know, like when with horses, when there's a saddle on the horse, there's typically a blanket underneath. Or something like that, and I decided to add a kind of blanket that comes off on the side of the Chocobo that is also the color of the sash. I felt like there wasn't enough of that red color to really make it look like they matched. There's me adding an off-white to the white bits so they're not that bright. Something I need to do more often is changing the background to a grayish color so that the colors won't stand out quite as much. It's just sometimes easier to tell what colors I have when the background isn't that blank white. It also hurts the eyes. My eyes don't like it. Of course, I never remembered to do that, so that's one thing I need to change, among many. I will fix things. I promise. You guys probably have no idea what I'm talking about, but I promise I will. I will fix things. One day. I had fun with the Chocobo's eye, actually. It'll be a while before I get to the detailing of the eye, but I really enjoyed how it came out. Also struggled with the beak, but that, again, is later, so don't worry about that. Also, I tend to try to use colors that aren't exactly, how do I put this? They're a little bit off from what the color is thought to be, to kind of give the subject a little more interest, I guess. But that's why the Chocobo is kind of a very, very light blue-green instead of the white it appears to be in the screenshots. And that's because when I look for colors to use, instead of using the eyedropper tool, I try to pick my own colors whenever I'm using references like this. I will try to see if there are any undertones that I can use just for fun, kind of, and also to give that interest like I mentioned. And when I look at the screenshots, the Chocobo looks to be white, but with a little bit of kind of a bluish gray. Very subtle bluish tint. So I decided to try that. Instead of just going with white, and because white is such a very harsh color, I guess. It's not technically a color. I mean, like I've heard it's not technically a color, but of course it's in the family. I mean, what else could it be? In any case, I just don't want things to be like completely black or completely white, because in this world, things that are completely white or completely black do not look natural. Because there are undertones in everything. You may not see it, you may not notice it, but if you look hard enough, it's possible you can tell that too. I mean, I never really colored with the strict bright colors, but of course I never really had the choice because I didn't really start coloring until just a few years ago. But I tend to try to go for the duller colors so that they just feel more natural. And I hope that makes sense, because I don't know. I had a little bit of a struggle with the skin tone. Like halfway through, I realized that the color I chose was a little bit too dark because the screenshot I used for reference was taken at a later time in the game. And if you play Final Fantasy, you will know, but the days in that game are very short. Like, seriously, an entire day in that game is like over the course of 20 minutes. So when my friend was taking screenshots, I'm sure the sun in the game was like right above and then probably in the evening position by the time she was done. In any case, anyway, the one screenshot that I used for her skin tone, there was a bit more shadow, and I didn't realize that. So her skin tone is a little bit darker. I tried to lighten it up, but I hope it's good enough. At the point of me recording this, my friend has not seen the finished product. My brain is so slow. So I'm hoping that she likes the outcome. Probably should have asked her before I finished this, but I've just been trying so hard to get this done, and I actually did finish this Sunday, but because of other things, I didn't want to upload it until tonight, even though it's late now, because if I had done it Sunday, then I would have not slept. I'd have gotten even less sleep than I did that night. And I hate doing that, but I get so stressed out on school nights, I swear. Because I just start thinking about all the things that I need to do, but haven't done, and will do in the future, and all the other stuff that doesn't even pertain to school. When will my brain shut up? Anyway, back to the artwork. I actually didn't intend for this to look so painterly, but I wasn't entirely sure how to go about making it more crisp, I guess. I don't know how to. I don't know what word to use to describe what I mean. I tried though. I can only hope my friend likes it anyway. Maybe one day I can try again, and I'll just do like a headshot or something of her character. The hair shine was kind of interesting. I think I used her skin tone actually to shade or no, to highlight her hair a bit. Not entirely sure why I did that. I kind of liked how I accidentally used that earlier when I was laying down the local colors. I accidentally used her skin tone on her hair, like maybe I missed a spot, and I actually liked the color change, color difference, color something. So I guess I decided to use the skin tone to do a bit of shine, and of course it wasn't shiny enough for me, so I chose a color a little lighter than that. Oh hey look, here's a struggle with the beak. Let us lean forward and enjoy the all of 2 seconds of that because I put this in time lapse and it's a lot shorter than it was for me actually doing it. I always forget that that is what happens whenever I struggle with something. I'm always like, this is going to take so long in the video when it's done, and blah 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 blah. And then I get to actually not recording, but editing the video, and then I realize that, oh, that one thing I struggled with, instead of taking the 10 or 20 minutes that it took me to get it to a point that I didn't hate it, actually it takes all of 2 seconds in the actual video because time lapse is a thing. Yeah. Anyway, the video is just about done, so thank you for watching. Please let me know what race in Final Fantasy XIV that you like most, and if not, do you enjoy the color that the Chocobo came out as? Because I think it came pretty close to the Chocobo color in the screenshots. Thank you for watching, even though I probably said that already. Hope you enjoyed the video. There will be links on the screen in just a second. There they are. Have a nice week, and I'll hopefully see you in a couple of days with the next video that I need to post eventually. Bye. Liking and subscribing is also a thing you can do.